welcome. Stop by. Check them out online, sacardhouse.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it's Thursday Night Football as the Houston Texans get set to take on the New York Jets in New York. You can catch it right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 6:30. Speaking of the Texans, defensive end Will Anderson Jr. was the AFC Defensive Player of the Month after recording 5 sacks in October, including leading the entire NFL in tackles for loss with 7.
If you smoke, take it outside. Get the facts at don'tpassgas.org.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That goal is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Dad? Can't stop me now.
Good Thursday evening, San Antonio, and welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all listening, however y'all may be listening, whether that is 94.1 on your FM dial. If you happen to be checking us out via our AA Best Bail Bonds audio player at sasportstar.com, or if you are watching on our YouTube page, appreciate you. We stream all of our shows live on YouTube at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead, like, subscribe, comment along. Fred Villarreal, Fred Robert Casares Jr. Appreciate y'all already in here. Fred Record. It's the Fred crew. Fred's in the building on Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star. And it's a big night. The Texans are 6-2 and should be prohibitive favorites as one of the AFC favorites going into tonight's game against the Jets, who are only 2-6 and look like a hot mess. The MetLife Field's been a house of horrors for the Texans. It was last year for C.J. Stroud, who was actually knocked out of that game with a concussion on that awful turf. And they had just lost Stephon Diggs, and there are a lot of questions. Their top receivers are going to be Dalton Schultz, Tank Dell, Xavier Hutchinson, and John Mechie going into this game. So it's going to be very interesting to kind of see how things play out tonight. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, both Rob and AJ were discussing this Thursday night thriller.
The Texans play the Jets. I do love watching Aaron Rodgers lose football games. The question is he going to lose one tonight? You seem a lot more confident than I do.
But, you because of your outright white-hot distaste for this dude, I feel like I've almost been backed into a corner, and I'm defending things that aren't quite defensible, but I have to.
Okay.
He is not terrible. He's not what he was, but he ain't terrible. The problem he's running into now is they fortified the wrong position. They added he's got a lot of offensive weapons around him, and I think if he had a modicum of time, he would be at least above average. But he doesn't have any time. I don't care how good you are if you're running for your life on the offensive line. It's never going to manifest. And at that point, it doesn't matter whether he's Aaron or Zach. It doesn't matter. You suck because your line sucks, and it doesn't matter who you are, and that's where he is now. You are going to suck because your line sucks.
I think I'm going to look at the under in this game. Sitting at 42.5. First of all, Thursday night unders generally do well, although this year the primetime unders have not been as strong as they have in the past. But it's hard to imagine with the Texans' offensive line was so bad last week, and I think that's everybody's talking about the wide receivers, and certainly they're missing some wide receivers. It's a big deal losing Diggs and Collins. That's your top two guys. It's the same thing that's going on in Tampa. It's hard to overcome that. But no one's really talking about the fact that their offensive line is quite frankly bad right now. And my thought about the Texans all year long, and this is why I hate and I know I do this all the time, and I know it drives you crazy. I'm sure it drives listeners crazy. I often get married to analytics of things more than I do wins and losses, because I like to believe that in the long run, what your numbers are is
right.
what you're eventually
Over
going to
time,
be.
You will be right.
And so I know I'm nitpicking at a 6-2 Texans team here, but they've outscored their opponents by a total of 9 points this whole season. So a 6-2 team with a +9 scoring differential is quite frankly a fraud. Like, it's just, it is. That's going to come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
And now with all these injuries and stuff, I don't know that I want to back the Texans right now, because I don't think, like, I know it's easy to look and say, oh, well, they're 6-2. They're underdogs against the Jets, who are 2-6. How can you not back the Texans here? I don't think I'm going to. Because it's at 2 now, I am going to use the Texans in a 6-point teaser to go through the 3 and the 7. I think there's value in that, but really I think the under is the way to look at this game. I just think both teams are going to have a hard time getting anything going. The Jets defense hasn't been great, but they've been playing good offenses. That's going to happen, although against the Patriots. But you know what? That's the other thing about the Jets. They dominated the Patriots.
Yeah.
They just lost the game. Do you know what the record was of teams who score at least 20 points, have no turnovers, and allow 250 or less yards on defense? You know what their record?
I would imagine you'd never lost a game with that.
Before Sunday, the record of those teams was 750-0.
Yeah, never lost a game with that. I can't imagine how you lose unless you're giving up 3 punt returns.
Now you have, because the Jets lost that game. Those teams are now 750-1.
So that's just,
that's a bad luck loss.
Bad luck. That's it. It's bad luck. And I think so much of what you're talking about, I wonder what the differential last year was for the Texans. I bet it was right about 9. You know,
I'll pull it up.
I don't think it was huge. They were winning a lot of close games, and I think.
But the difference was the expectations of the Texans were so low last year.
Oh, I agree.
They were 10-7, and they were +24.
But what I'm getting at is they're kind of used to being there. But but as you were saying, numbers don't lie. And over time, if you're living like that, you're going to end up regressing to the mean. You're going to start losing those games. The fun thing about tonight is CJ and his ability to get around the problems that his team has. His offensive line ain't good either. He doesn't have any wide receivers. Watching him do what Aaron used to do 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be the difference tonight, because Aaron can't overcome that anymore. CJ has consistently, if not overcome, at least met the problem.
This is I've said this about CJ this year, and people get mad. I think CJ Stroud's really good, but the Texans' entire offense is do nothing on first down, do nothing on second down, and then CJ Stroud pulls some magic crap out of his, you know what, and gets you a first down. And that's not repeatable over the long term. Like that.
Well, Mahomes has been doing it. I'm not saying
he's the greatest player in the history of time.
I agree. Maybe. But you see it after a while, you kind of start expecting it, you know, at some point, and it's not right, because who is he going to throw the ball to this week?
Mechie? Yeah. It's so funny, because at the beginning of the year, I was like, I guess it's going to be Noah Brown, Tank Dell, and John Mechie. And I remember at the beginning of the season saying that the Texans need to trade John Mechie because he's never going to be used. And turns out, well, good thing they kept him.
I think it hurts, and I think this is the best thing that could happen to the Texans right
now. Yeah, right now, because next week, in all hopefulness, you're getting Nico Collins back, who is still among the top 3 receivers in the league, according to yardage, despite missing the last 4 games. So that is going to be a huge boost to this Texans offense. And the fact of the matter is, yeah, they're +9 in the point differential, but remember, they got smacked by Minnesota, which throws that point differential out of kilter just a little bit, because of how badly they lost that game by nearly 30-something points. So that will always affect things negatively in a point differential manner when you play a bunch of close games and lose one very lopsidedly. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. That game is coming up next. It is brought to you by Flight by Yingling. But before we go, got one more thing to get to on this side of the break, because I haven't given you my pick. I gave it at the end of the Blitz, but I think the Texans win this, but more so because of Danielle Hunter and Will Smith are both top 5 in pressures. Will Anderson had 5 sacks this past month. Danielle Anderson's also been wreaking havoc with those bad offensive lines, and Tyler Smith is the one still there. Sorry. With Smith guarding Aaron Rodgers' blind side, he has given up 5 sacks this year, which is the most he's given up since his rookie year in a career. And it's a lot. He is not playing well. And I think the tandem of Hunter and Will Anderson will feast because of this. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. When we come back, Stephen Jones joined the Blitz earlier today, as a lot of things to talk about with him, including Dak Prescott and why he's not using his legs, and will they be active at the trade deadline? All questions were answered in a Stephen Jones type of way. Coming up next, right here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1. The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Hey, dude, you didn't tell me that he wrecked it, and it looks wrecked. How much was the insurance check? $8,000. Yeah, did y'all spend it on fixing it, or did you put it in your pocket? Well, my cousin. Just stop there. Just stop there. All I needed to know is $8,000 insurance and a cousin.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
NCE General Contractors, based in San Antonio, is one of the fastest growing nationwide general contractors with a focus on commercial new construction, design build projects, building renovations, tenant finish outs, site upgrades, and building maintenance. NCE President Brian Ehrlich's a former Madison quarterback and proud to support high school football in San Antonio, building relationships first, then buildings that last. Learn more about NCE General Contractors online at ncegc.co. That's ncegc.co.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks, my daily fantasy game. In fact, mine and 10 million others are playing this every day because we know what we're doing. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money on your sports action. Join me and so many others playing every day. You know why? Prize Picks invented FlexPay, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. Look, you know your sports. How many yards is CeeDee Lamb going to get this week? Is Jonathan Taylor going to get 85 or more? You know what you're doing. Go make your play. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which players aren't? You know you play fantasy football. Put your knowledge to work. And remember, use the code Alamo, and there's $50 in it for you. Download the app now. Use Alamo. Play with your friends. It's the best way to have fun and get yourself in the game. Remember, Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can add to big payouts. Download the app today. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. You can find Active Liver at Amazon.com or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. Or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Go to new, NORDICUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422. 800-714-8422.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, SASportsStar.com. Appreciate y'all for riding along with me this evening as we take you up to pregame for the Texans and Jets on Thursday Night Football, presented by Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. And I'm just putting a DraftKings together for tonight's game. DraftKings Pick 6. You've heard me talking about them. Use promo code KTFM, turn 5 into 50 on a play. So just saying, if you want to make a little extra squalla, DraftKings Pick 6, promo code KTFM. The Dallas Cowboys, while the record isn't far off from what we thought it may be at this point of the season, it's the way that they've gotten there. And feels semi-disappointing in a sense, except for they played a great game against San Francisco sans the third quarter, if you retract that one quarter out of the entirety of the game. But Stephen Jones joined Jason and Joe on the Blitz a little bit earlier and asked, why things aren't going the way they were possibly expected at the beginning of the year.
Full body of work. I mean, you got to, there's several moving parts. And by the way, the world's smallest violin I know is out there in terms of anybody feeling sorry for, what we're about or, the struggles that we're having. But, in general, you take into an account, defensively, we do have some challenges. And, when you don't have your top 4 pass rushers and 2 of your top 4 corners and your middle linebackers playing a little one-armed, and you understand that a little bit, but it's still no excuse. And then, Offensively, it is. You look at it and you go, why? Why? And that's what we're trying to figure out here. How do we get better? I mean, obviously, we got, we put our money where our mouth is. One of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the league, and I know a lot of people would argue the best, but he's certainly one of them. And just got one of the best receivers in the league signed up, and we think we've got good quality offensive linemen, albeit some of them young, and so a little bit of that is something that you do ask a lot of hard questions as to why we're a little inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball. But one thing I will consistently keep saying, and it's very fair that our fans are frustrated, very fair that, certainly we can be questioned about decision making. Bill Parcells used to say, you are what you are, and we're a 3-4 football team, which is below average. And so we've got to figure out how to right that ship. But I do think we got the right kind of people in our building. I mean, we got a Super Bowl winning coach. We've got Mike Zimmer, who's been on Super Bowl team, head coach teams that went to NFC championship games. Between the two Mikes, we've got really good coaches, one of the best special teams coaches in the league. And then, like I said, between guys like Dak Prescott and Zach Martin and, that type of a group over there, men in the locker room, I just think we got the right kind of guys who will continue to grind, do things the right way, and ultimately, hopefully things can get better. Obviously, at the last 3 years, we've done really well early and often and had great seasons, but we certainly, hadn't finished well, and hopefully this will be a reversal of roles. We'll start a little slow here, which we certainly have, and acknowledge that and understand the frustration with our fans, but hopefully we'll right the ship and finish fast.
Stephen, I want to ask you, Jerry said something on his radio show the other day that about Dak Prescott and running the football. He hasn't been doing a lot of that, and Jerry said that's okay, that you guys really don't want him to run the football a lot. When I look at Dak, though, he looks a little bit different. Are you concerned at all about that ankle or any kind of injury with Dak Prescott?
No, I just think it's Dak being smart and picking the right times. I think, if he needs to, he will. And obviously we're needing to win some games, and he knows that. And, at the right time, there's a time to do it. You look around the league, and guys who do run the football on a regular basis get hurt. And so we have coached Dak and to be smart about when you pick and choose your chances to run the ball. But I think Dak athletically is fine.
Stephen Jones of the Dallas Cowboys joining us here on the Blitz. Stephen, with the trade deadline coming up, what do you think the odds are that you guys will be players in trying to improve this roster at the deadline?
Well, we're always trying to. It's got to make sense, and there's a lot of moving parts to what makes sense. I mean, we obviously think we've got, our two corners coming back, and we also think we're going to have, 3 of our 4 top defensive ends coming back and in due time. And, so the outlook injury-wise is positive, but at the same time, if we saw the right player who could help improve our situation right now, we'd certainly look at it and do it if it made sense.
Just real quick, Stephen, Micah Parsons, is there a chance that he could be on the field Sunday?
I think, he's got a shot, but I would call it a long shot.
Okay. A long shot. Now, it is Halloween, Stephen. I'm curious, at the Jones house, what kind of candy are you guys passing out tonight, and are you dressing up?
I'll have to check in with who runs my house, which would be my wife. And I now have grandkids who get a hand in that as well. So I'll just be glad to be there and pass it out. And, when you're going through a little rough patch like we are right now, looking at some young kids with big smiles getting candy and dressed up does give you one respite from what is a little rough patch for us.
That is true. It has been a little rough patch. That was Stephen Jones. Catch everything in the AA Best Bail Bonds audio player. We got Texans Jets coming up next for you right here on your home for Thursday Night Football, presented by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
What's that? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the NFL. Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday Night Football. Presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The 149th Fighter Wing of the Texas Air National Guard is hiring both full and part-time positions with over 180 different career choices, including cyber, healthcare, communications, avionics, electronics, and more. The Texas Air National Guard offers a variety of ways you can serve. Earn education benefits that would cover tuition towards a bachelor's degree. To learn more, Google the